Viewers, you're welcome to the Untold Radio on Ashaiman TV with me, Nathaniel Olaputete. And as you know, every Saturday at 6, I bring you a guest to discuss issues pertaining to entrepreneurship as they share with us their experiences and their achievements and challenges as well. So we motivate you to do something on your own, since the government cannot provide jobs for all of us. And so today with me in the studio is a special guest, a very experienced entrepreneur who is going to be sharing with us his start point as a business person, the pull factor, what got him to start his own business years ago, and then as well some of his achievements and a way forward. And so you can follow this conversation on WhatsApp, that is on 0209151701. I think that again, 0209151701. That is a WhatsApp line. And then also we stream live on Facebook, that is Ashaiman TVGH, Ashaiman TVGH, and as well the Untold TV show, the Untold TV show. As well, you can follow us on all our social media handles on either Ashaiman TVGH or the Untold TV show. And then as well, later on we'll open the phone lines for you to join the conversation. So I take a quick commercial break, and when I return, the interview begins. Stay tuned, don't go away. As the Akan adage goes, opinion of Rimpong Ashasi. Indeed, no one knows the beginning of a hero or a heroine, but are only celebrated at their peak. However, every great person or business has some story of a sort about the dark days of their lives, the lonely moments, the hunger and thirst, with no one to turn to or lean on. Yet, these stories are not just told to anyone, but at the right place and time. On this show, The Untold, we will be unveiling some of these stories of very well celebrated and upcoming individuals and businesses with emphasis on entrepreneurship. Join me this and every Saturday on Ashaiman TV as I bring you The Untold. My name is Nathaniel Olaputete. Viewers, you're welcome back from that quick commercial break, and like I said, this is Untold right here on Ashaiman TV with me, Nathaniel Olaputete. And in this COVID-19 era, because we are your humble servants, we cannot stay at home. We need to bring to you the production every now and then. But we believe that you are staying home and praying with us. And so at this point, I want to introduce my special guest. And this guest I have in the seat today with me, today the 28th of March 2020, is a consultant with Jasper Global Corporations UK. He is as well a representative of Cambridge College UK, and then he is the principal of Trinity Professional College located at Confram, and he's in the person of Mr. Joseph Feliapia. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And so how are you coping with this pandemic, COVID-19, which is all over the place, all over the globe?
I see this as a battle.
Right.
It's a kind of war. And I believe that it is time that we look at it with another view. We are fighting an enemy you cannot see.
Right.
Look, the hand washing is all good. We have to keep doing it and doing it well. The sanitizers are good, we need to do it well. Other measures are good, we need to do all those well. But I believe that one of the surest way is to stay at home. I believe it. You know, the roads are still packed with vehicles. As of yesterday, I saw a mini football match in my neighborhood. You see, as if nothing is going on. As the president said, these are not normal days. So I believe it is time to stay home and allow the medical people, the medical team, and the government to sort this thing out. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I believe that we don't have full control yet. So we need to stay back with the masses and allow the government to do a good job, allow the medical team to do a good job. The town, the cities are too packed with activities, and it's not too good. I spoke to a gentleman before I got out here, and what he told me is that He hears that the government is trying to raise $100 million to solve the problem. And I was amazed. So does it mean that Western countries, they don't have $100 million? They don't have it.
And they still can't solve it.
So UK hasn't got $100 million. All of a sudden, the United States hasn't got $100 million. You know, so I believe that probably we need some more education and more training to help us to act properly.
So I was actually coming to the education bit. Is it to say that the authorities are not really educating the public well enough? Because some people have the opinion that all the 4 addresses the president did so far, which the last one was last night, were in English. I could only see a sign language last night. And then at the point when he was concluding, he brought in a little bit of Chi, a little bit of Ghana, and then some other language. Is that to say that the people, the ordinary citizen, don't understand the language, or is it NCCE that is not doing it well?
I believe that the government is doing its maximum best.
Right.
In other countries, they don't have the privilege to have the president address them at this rate.
4 times in 6 days.
So I believe that the government is doing very well. Social media, of course, misinformation, but they are doing, social media is doing well.
Okay.
The media is doing excellent. It's left with the masses.
Okay.
My brother, this thing is putting our discipline or indiscipline on a platform.
Right.
The problem here now is this. We need to be disciplined and go by simple instruction, because we are fighting an enemy we cannot see. You see, eventually the enemy will be defeated. COVID-19 will be defeated.
Right.
My worst problem is this. What will be the casualties we are going to manage after that? That's my problem. This virus will be defeated. But at the end of the day, what will be the level of casualties we have to deal with?
So like the president said, we know how to bring the economy back, but we do not know how to bring people back to us.
So this is the time to exercise maximum discipline. Stay at home. For Christ's sake, what are you doing out there? Stay at home. Full stop.
Wow. So viewers, we can go on and we'll revisit this topic before the show ends. The plea from my guest is that stay at home. Yes, really. Even professional footballers, and that scenario broke my heart actually, because professional footballers are no longer playing. Some are on holiday, some are hiding somewhere. What at all do you need on that field, that 10, 30 minutes or 1 hour, when you don't know who is carrying the disease? Anyway, so viewers, this is the Untold. We are just addressing the enemy that can even bring this show to a halt. And so we cannot commence this show without addressing COVID-19. And so, Mr. Pia, thank you very much. You just brought to my attention that now the problem is a citizen. We are taking these for granted.
That is what I think. Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, so who is Mr. Joseph Faliapia?
Well, by God's grace, I'm a citizen of Ghana. Okay. From Central Region.
Okay.
Married with 4 kids. Leading a very humble life.
Can see that.
You know, and I'm very religious. I love Jesus.
Wow.
Good. So basically, I'm doing well to try to contribute my quota to our society. So I've been running businesses since 2002.
18 years.
Still counting, I guess.
Yeah, still counting.
And we are hoping to get to a certain point where we are not yet. So we're still working around the clock. You know, sometimes a little setback, but look, that is not deterring us at all. We are still forging ahead. Okay. Trusting God that at the end of the day we arrive at where we intend to be.
Great. Mr. Pia really is a very humble person, living a humble life. And so, Mr. Pia, you want to tell us a little bit more about your because you are in education. So And so, in as much, we'll come to the history a bit, but what is Trinity Professional College? Which you are the principal and founder also.
Yeah. It all started 2002 with another name, Principal's College.
Okay.
And Trinity came out because we decided to do some, what I call rebranding.
Okay.
And add some other programs that we used not to have from the beginning. We're purely into academics, but I believe that it is time that we look at the vocational aspect of education also. So Trinity embraces professionalism and a lot of vocational courses now. I realize that the foundation of every nation has a lot to do with education. And it's not supposed to be left with just a handful of people. Because pure academics embraces a certain percentage of the population. A lot more could start, and along the line, especially at the secondary level, drop out or end education. Sometimes due to sponsorship problems, sometimes due to resource problems, poor performance in academia and all that. So we believe that there are so many people that are supposed to be given a good form of attention in the area of vocational courses. In fact, I did some reading about the United Kingdom. They built and spent a lot of time and manpower in building the vocational institute, and they are doing very well now. So at the moment, I believe that it is time that we embrace some vocational courses in order to be able to get enough of our, let me call them, school dropouts. Those at the SS level who are just not doing too well, to also delve into those areas and be able to have something for themselves and also help meaningfully in contributing in building the nation.
Okay.
So Trinity at the moment is going purely into professionalism and into vocational courses.
So these are your trainings at Trinity Professional College. Is it a degree, a diploma, or certificate?
Yes, we have all the equivalences. We have the level 3 equivalent, which is called certificate, level 4, which is diploma. Okay. We have the level 5, which we call the advanced diploma, or HND. Okay. And then level 6, which we, in academics, we normally refer to as degree. Okay. But in the professional areas, we have all sort of names for it. For instance, executive diploma, or we have what we call the advanced graduate diploma. Okay. It describes level 6. Okay. So we have level 3, level 4, 5, and 6. Okay. In other words, it's like from certificate to the degree level, degree equivalent. Okay. Yeah. But the vocational courses at the moment is up to the advanced level. Okay. We don't have level 6, it's up to level 5. So the professional courses moves from level 4 to 6, and the vocational courses from level 3 to 5.
So what it means is that, because you mentioned earlier that some people drop out of school as a result of finances or whatever reasons, probably academic performance and the like. And so from these levels 3 all the way through 6, does it mean that the person can pause at a certain point? So the person prefers to just have level 3 and 4, and that is okay. He can still always take a break and come back. Is that what it is?
Not exactly. When it comes to levels of education, it has everything to do with entry qualification.
Okay.
If someone wants to do a level 6 program at a professional level, it's equivalent to the degree in the universities. Okay. A degree. According to the National Accreditation Body, you're supposed to have a certain minimum qualification. Okay. You're supposed to have at least 6 of your C6 passing in your Maths, English, Science, to be part of the 6. Right. Without which you cannot do a purely level 6 course. Okay. So for instance, somebody completes an SHS, does some remedials, etc., still not making up the C6, 6 of them. Such a person can start from a diploma level if he has a couple of Ds. Okay. And still continue to do a level 6 program. He could start from level 4 to level 5 and then to level 6. But for instance, in the vocational areas, there are some people who have 2 passes at the SHS level. 1 pass, 3 passes, 4 passes. They are never able to make the 6 passes. Okay. They can move into the area of vocation.
Right.
Yeah, so they can pick up a vocational program and then study that, and at a certain level, they could join or move on to the professional level. Okay. So there's that link, that lead to be able to get to level 6. But it all boils down to the entry qualification. It's very necessary.
Right, so we'll be revisiting these again. So because at the tail end, when our viewers get to know the programs that are run at Trinity Professional College, then we'll come back to how to enter these programs. And so now you want to fill us in on how it all began, the pull factor, 2002, some 18 years ago and still counting. What got you into business?
I believe it's my mom.
Okay.
She's been with Ghana Education Service for over 30 years. And even on her retirement, still works with some private schools.
Right.
Now she left GES as a deputy director.
Wow.
And when I completed O level in 1993, I'm an Abdinfo anyway from Sunset.
Okay.
So when I completed O level, I go home. The woman made me rest for a week. Then she got me some case to teach. So I was like, Mom, I just came from school. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do at home? Before you started A level, what are you going to do? Then she got me some case to teach. So I started teaching after a week of my O level. So before I went to the A level at La Bonne Secondary, I had done a lot of teaching. Yes, and after A level, I moved straight to the National Service. I was posted to the North Pontamale, and straight to another secondary school to teach maths, because at the A level I did maths, and I did geography, I did statistics. You know, so I went to that school, and for a whole year I was teaching virtually from the Form 1 to Form 3, A, B section, doing most of the teaching. You know, so I was introduced into academics by my mom.
Okay.
And after the tertiary education, you know, I went much into teaching. I got to Ghana Port after acquiring a second degree in logistics.
Okay.
Went to Ghana Port for some years and came back into teaching. So it was in around then, it's like, young man, what are you doing? Put something together, and then started school. So I actually started the college.
Okay. Which is Principal.
Yes, June 2002.
Okay.
I believe after years of teaching, I got so motivated, I got so interested in academics.
Okay.
Then I found my way there, and here we are for 18 years.
That's quite interesting. So viewers, if you're watching us from your home on via Facebook or on the television set, this is the Untold, and with me in the studio is Mr. Joseph Feliapia, the principal of Trinity Professional College, and he's just taking us back a bit on the history. So Mr. Pia, would you I'm just curious about this. When your mom first introduced you, 1 week after your O level, how did you receive it?
I believe the kind of upbringing we had. You know, my dad, a military officer there, my mom, a teacher. So it's like I started in a form of obeying my mom. You know, in the barracks, there's a lot of discipline. You know, you don't mess up in a soldier's house. So there was high discipline. Just look at a soldier plus military plus teacher kind of upbringing.
Disciplinary.
You know, you see. So, so I believe that it all started in a form of trying to obey my mom's instruction. Then I gradually built up so much interest in teaching. When I started interacting with these kids, I realized that it looks as if I have something to offer. You know, so it's been like that from '93. I've been teaching all my years until now. In fact, yesterday, I was guiding somebody through a project work. You know, so from '93, I have been into academia. And whilst I was even schooling, I was still teaching.
And '93, I was just a 5-year-old boy. Wow. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. So now, let's come to when you started Trinity, the Principal's College in 2002. Where did you start? How did you start?
This story, I've never really said it to anybody openly.
Wow. That is why the show is the Untold.
And it's really funny how it all started. When I put everything together, I walked into the offices of GES. And I met one woman who also encouraged me. Madam Ajiani, Mrs. Esther Ajiani, who was, I think, the head of private school unit at GES. I remember that woman, so much of help to me. She said, "Yo, but you want to go into teaching?" I said, "Yes." She asked a couple of questions I don't really remember, but it was all about trying to see whether I was really serious. Then he said, "So where is your school located?" I said, "Madam, I'm about to find a place." She looked at me and said, "You want to run a school, you don't have a place?" I said, "Yes, madam, no, I'm still trying to put something together." Then she said, "Okay, now what do you want me to do for you?" I said, "Okay, I'm here to know if I want you to certify me, to give me recognition, what do I do?" Then she started all the protocols. So from there, I spoke to an agent way down around Abokubi. At that time, Abokubi was not too developed as it is now.
Yeah.
So an agent, a housing agent, sent me to one building, right in some bush. It wasn't developed. And honestly, the first time I got there, I said, "Look, young man, are you serious?" Some bush, you know. And the guy said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get some guys to weed here, we'll create some path. Watch, we'll create some path here." When I go home that evening, it was like, "Look, I hope you are all right." Then I went to see the landlady, spoke to her. She said, "Okay, give me 2 years." I said, "Mama, I won't get 2 years. I don't have that kind of money. I'm just starting." So she said 1 year. I said, "Mama, I don't have 1 year. Please help me." She said 6 months. I said, "Mama, I don't have 6 months advance rent. I don't have it." Then she said, "Okay, what do you want me to do for you?" I said, "Mama, I can pay for 1 month. After that 1 month, give me 3 months to be able to pay the rent, because I knew after 3 months I would have done admission." I don't know, probably she was an angel placed there to be of help. And she agreed.
Wow.
So I was able to raise a month rent. At that time, the month rent was, that was 2001. I don't think it was what we call 300,000, 30 Ghana.
30 Ghana.
It was a 6-bedroom house.
Okay.
30 Ghana, yeah. We used to call it 300,000. 30 Ghana.
Yeah.
The woman took the 30 Ghana for 1 month. This was a fully walled building with 6 rooms, 2 living rooms, very spacious.
Completed.
Very completed house.
Wow.
Water flow, electricity, you know. So the woman agreed. The next day, I was in the house, and then I started putting things together. And because I had done a lot of teachings in so many schools, I knew what I was about. I had a certain kind of picture, a certain kind of standard I needed to meet. So I started moving around, bringing in logistics, the furnishings, got some computers, some old computers. I remember that time a friend of mine at Tamanita helped me to get 8 computers. And then I went to talk to this furniture company, and they gave me 40 tables and chairs.
On credit? Or as a gift?
I wish you didn't ask that. On credit, my brother, on credit. You know, so he gave me 40 chairs on credit. And he said, every week I'm going to do the payment. I said, okay. Brother, so I put these whole logistics together in a week, because I've told my landlady I'm going to pay some money very soon. And the kind of reception the woman gave me, I was not ready to go with any excuse. So I went straight to business. And within a week, within 2 weeks, the college was about 80 to 90% ready to go. Wow. To a certain standard, you know, 40 chairs, 8 computers, 2 desks, front office and mine. So we started admission, and then I got some guys around the Bokobi. We did some posters, etc. In a month, we had gotten 6 students, a whole month, 6 students. So we started the first enrollment with 8 students. 8 students.
And that was after how many months?
That was after about 3 months. 8 students. And I used 7 students' fees to pay for 3 months' rent. Then I went to my mom and I said, okay, you have to help me. Then this old lady was a teacher then, looked at me in the face and gave me her whole salary at a point in time. Her full salary. And that was when I had to pay the 3 staff that I started with. My secretary and 2 teaching staff and myself. Plus 8 students was the whole college. To cut a long story short, in 6 months, we've moved to about 50. In 1 year, we're around 80.
So at this point, before the growth from 8 to 50 and beyond, was there a point when you took a pause of reflection to ask yourself, am I really doing something right? Or I had to just quit and go and look for a job?
I've asked myself several times this kind of question. And I think that, you know, as I said, my dad was in the military. So there was this Burma camp thing.
Okay.
You know, we had some resistance.
Yeah.
You know, as a barracks boy, you know what I mean? And then I attended Sumum Sektek. For 5 years I was in Sumum Sektek. You know, and that place alone was a whole training ground. So I believe that these 2 factors kept me moving. And that hardness, now put it in that context, kept me afloat. Because at the point, look, I'm supposed to close down the school. And then, because, look, I had some education. I could have done anything. I could have done anything, so, but I had to forge ahead. And I did well. And by God's grace, swallowed a lot of bitter pills. A lot of bitter pills. Because it gets to a point where all that Burma camp thing, military thing, you know, Sumum Sektek thing, those things, sometimes those things were kind of defeated. You know? So I had to move on, and I still went on by God's grace. We were able to, within the first 1 year, it was fantastic.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
Wow. So viewers, this is Untold right here on Ashaiman TV, and like I said, my guest today is a principal of Trinity Professional College. He is a teacher, I mean, all his life. Though he is, by profession, he is into logistics. He just can't live teaching. And one thing struck me, and it brought to memory a statement made by one of my guests. She said, entrepreneurship is like growing grass in a hill. What is your take on entrepreneurship? Because it has become the crazy word today. Everyone is talking about entrepreneurship. I am an entrepreneur, and here and there. What is your take on this statement? Entrepreneurship is like growing grass in a hill.
Let me tell you something very probably from what anybody may have said.
Okay.
You may not find it in any book.
Okay.
How I will conclude it. But let me tell you something from experience. I realized this. In theory,
Okay.
there's a very little difference between theory and practice in terms of entrepreneurship. In theory, there's a very little difference between the theoretical aspect of entrepreneurship and the practical aspect of entrepreneurship. In practice, there's a huge gap between the theoretical aspect of entrepreneurship and the practical aspect of entrepreneurship. In practice, most at times, for instance, after leaving the campus, Kenya University, I realized that a lot of us were having all sort of plans. I'm going to go into this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Because we were so filled with the theoretical part of entrepreneurship And as I said from the beginning, the difference between the theory and the practice, theoretically, is so slim, very slim, very small. But in practice, it's so huge a gap. So the theory or the concept about entrepreneurship has been going on for long.
Right.
A lot of study content contains entrepreneurship. Why don't we have a large number of entrepreneurs on our market? It's because theoretically the difference between theory and practice is so slim. People get exposed, makes an effort practically, and they see the gap between theory and practice, and they back up. I'm telling you, and they back up. The first, in my opinion, tested and tried, I'm telling you, steps to entrepreneurship is not your first degree. Right. It's not your second degree. Sincerely speaking, the first degree, second degree, O-level, A-level, SHS, professional courses help you to model things properly. Okay. But they don't really leave you or makes you an entrepreneur. It's not correct. Natalia, the first step to entrepreneurship, a successful one of course, is your ability to sit down behind the table. That's all. Oh yes, I know it's funny. It's not about a lecture. It's not about having a degree, a first degree in entrepreneurship. The ability to sit down on a table, and then behind the table on a chair. Don't let me use desk for it to look like office standard. Table and a chair. That's the first step in entrepreneurship. Right. Anyone who hasn't got the ability to sit, you cannot be an entrepreneur. You see, in our society we have this problem. Right. We struggle to sit. COVID-19 is testing our discipline in the area of sitting. That is why it is difficult for us to stay at home. Right. We were not brought up to have a quiet time. Maybe our grandfathers didn't teach our fathers. Okay. Our fathers didn't teach us. We the younger ones, we are much more educated than our parents. It looks as if we are equally losing it. Because our kids can't sit. You take a very good look. Sure. I want to get 3 boys. Our kids cannot sit.
Wow. So viewers, this is Untold, like I always say, and this show today is getting very, very educative. I told you, my guest is an educationist throughout his life. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we return, let me continue. Stay tuned, don't go away. As the Akan adage goes, opinion of Rimpong Ashasi. Indeed, no one knows the beginning of a hero or a heroine, but are only celebrated at their peak. However, every great person or business has some story of a sort about the dark days of their lives, the lonely moments, the hunger and thirst, with no one to turn to or lean on. Yet, these stories are not just told to anyone, but at the right place and time. On this show, The Untold, we will be unveiling some of these stories of very well celebrated and upcoming individuals and businesses with emphasis on entrepreneurship. Join me this and every Saturday on Ashaiman TV as I bring you The Untold. My name is Nathaniel. Viewers, you're welcome back from that quick commercial break. I couldn't take a long break because the conversation is just late, if I'm permitted to use that. You can join this conversation on WhatsApp, that is on 0209151701, 0209151701. And then on Facebook, you can leave your messages at Shaman TV and we are going to read them accordingly. As well, you can join us via a phone call. Just call us on the following numbers and then we would engage you. You can ask all your questions, especially when we get to the admissions bit. You can call us later on 0244 838 238, 0244 838 238 or 0244 833 065, 0244 833 065. And then on WhatsApp again, it's 0209151701. Mr. Bia, I want us to break down the sitting a bit because somebody might have, after hearing you just speak a dining table, no matter how the size, put a chair behind it and sit on it and say, I want to be on that.
I remember visiting a friend, a banker. You know, after the second degree, he got ABSA.
Okay.
Barclays now, ABSA.
Okay.
And I visited him when he got his new apartment. Well-furnished apartment. The living room, to the kitchen, to the bedroom, well-furnished. And after taking a stroll in the whole apartment, I didn't see a table and chair, or better say a desk and a seat.
Okay.
So, you know, such a person, you see, let me tell you, he's ready to work for a bank all his life.
Okay.
You'll be amazed to know. And it's funny what I'm talking about. I know. It's very easy to ignore it. The table and chair helps you to think. It helps you to put together numbers. It helps you to expand your horizon. When you have a table, in no time you have a computer or laptop. In no time books begin to develop legs and walk to the table. In no time the table becomes an area for the future. It will be the beginning of a great future. I've done some reading about the world's renowned entrepreneurs. One thing they themselves probably have not taken notice is the fact that they always have a table to do something now. It cuts across all of them. The Bill Gates, the Dangotes, all of them. And even here in our country, the few entrepreneurs that are very successful, that I've happened to read about them, biographies and all their profiles, you realize that they talk about this table and chair things, probably unconsciously.
Right.
It is one thing that must be the habit of an entrepreneur. The ability to sit down and think about your immediate environment and then extend it to your community and then move on to your town, to the city, and to the nation. Start from a table and chair. It doesn't mean start from your sofa. It's still comfortable. Because along the line you may doze off. The TV may distract you. The kids may run across. Get a table and chair and start the first day. Let it be. Look, nothing, nothing. No worries. You begin to build something on that table. And you'll be amazed what you do in 3 months.
So Mr. Bia, someone will say that, okay, entrepreneurs are born. And so someone might have gotten a table and a chair but still wouldn't be able to sit. Is it that there is something extra, apart from you've explained what the table will motivate you to do, begin to get a computer, begin to get books, or books will walk to it and other things you want to begin to occupy the empty space on the table. But like you said, some people might have practiced this unconsciously. So they may have had a table, they might have had the chair and everything, but yet they run out. What is the other factor? Is there any other second factor that keeps you?
There are factors.
Can you share a few of that?
The table, it's only for a startup.
Okay.
You know, entrepreneurship basically is about designing, creation, something innovative. Stage number 1. Then you come to the setting, what we call the launching. And then you come to the table, the running of the business. These are three major sections of entrepreneurship. But the first is there need to be some designs, some thinking, some planning, some consultations. There need to be some readings. The average Ghanaian won't read.
It's true.
There are people who graduate from the universities, from the polytechnics, from the colleges. After graduation, their books goes on retirement. The average Ghanaian won't read. So this is something. What we need now is what I call a culture of entrepreneurship. In other words, we should be able to put our finger on some leads that will bring some consciousness to the people. Consciousness to our children. For them to know that they were not just born to labor for some companies. And that they can also put something together. We can start from the cultural side, because normally when we accept anything culturally, we really hold it very tough and we hardly let it go. So I believe that we need to have some cultural touch about this whole thing about entrepreneurship. Otherwise, we will only develop the passion, and the passion will never move on to the practice. So I believe that it is time that we look at entrepreneurship in another dimension, other than the classroom work. The classroom work is all good, don't get me wrong, it's all good. But there should be certain factors that could push us to transform the classroom work into practice.
Because of our time, let's take a few messages then we continue. And so this is coming from Henry Sarkodie inside Ajay Kojo, and he's asking, what is your biggest fear as an entrepreneur?
This particular issue, I've really been deliberating on. And sometimes I don't get things done the way I expect in my absence. So normally when I'm absent, I really develop some type of fear. But honestly, I'm not that person who has the word fear within his jurisdiction. I'm not that type of person. But whenever I have a little bit of uncertainty on my mind is when I'm absent from my place of work. Why? Because sometimes you can just not be sure what a staff might do. Aside that, the word fear does not normally live around me.
I was going to take a few more messages, but because you mentioned the staff, I'm interested. I'm interested in getting to know, because most people, like you say, most entrepreneurs always allude to the fact that the staff is a major challenge. And so how many staff do you have currently with the Trinity Professional College?
11 teaching staff, 8 admin staff, the non-admin staff, 6, so it's 11, 8, 6.
And so you're looking at 25 staff with Trinity Professional College. And your biggest fear is that they may not work the way you expected them or you expect them to. I believe that most of these people have been working with you for at least 5 years. And so have they got to know that your greatest fear is their inability to satisfy you in your absence?
You see, professionally, it's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed
I agree.
Because every staff has a clearly defined role. The staff, remember, is also a professional. And the role defined for the staff definitely is his contribution to help achieve the overall goal or objective of the business. So one is not supposed to have that much problem with the staff. Only that from experience, you realize that the staff is quite a different person when you're around and another person in the absence. So that becomes a little bit of a worry, you know. But basically, we find a way of managing that situation by enacting certain policies and rules, some regulations to sort of keep them, you know, on track.
Again, I want to just spend a few seconds on the staffing issue again. What would you think is a problem of the Ghanaian staff? That they only want to be active or productive when the superior is around?
What the problem is exactly, probably will need a PhD thesis to let us know what it is. But I have a little experience in travel in Europe, in the UK. And when I move to offices,
Right.
that problem we have here is not there.
Okay.
The person meets his targets, that's what he's supposed to do. Will be on time, in the presence or absence of the head. So I think, should I say it's cultural or it's attitude now? Okay. See? Because you'll be amazed to know, when we leave our jurisdiction to the Western countries, that attitude disappears. That attitude of lateness, for instance, disappears. The Ghanaian in Europe, the Ghanaian in the UK, the Ghanaian in the Western countries is never late to work. The Ghanaian in the Western country meets his or her target. He does the work as he's supposed to. In fact, out there, Ghanaians are one of the nationals that are known by the Westerners as hardworking. So now let's cross the Mediterranean and come back home. Why is it quite different from here? Should I say it is cultural? Because for instance, if I have a problem with staff and probably I enact a regulation and I let the person leave on suspension or something, or even dismissal, in 2 days a pastor will come to the office to plead. A mother will come to the office to plead.
True.
An imam will come to the office to plead. In the West, your priest will not follow you to go and plead for you at the age of 105. So I think it's a certain custom or cultural thing that we need to deal with. Why is it that at company A in Ghana, you are not yourself? In company B in UK, probably become the best staff. What is that discrepancy? What's going on? So I think it has something to do with the societal or cultural settings, etc. You will not be late to work in the Western country.
Wow. I wish we could spend more time on this, but unfortunately our time is up. And so Mr. Pierre, before we come back to reading the messages and taking a phone call proudly, I've noticed we have less than 10 minutes to go. All too soon. The conversation is so hot that time just kept flying away. I not noticed. I want us to spend time with the courses or the programs that Trinity Professional College runs currently.
As I said, it's purely professional and vocational courses.
Okay. So while we speak, please let's have the images roll as we speak about this, because we don't have much time. We don't. Okay, so I'm informed to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Don't go away. As the Akan adage goes, Obinim Obrimpon Ashasi. Indeed, no one knows the beginning of a hero or a heroine, but are only celebrated at their peak. However, every great person or business has some story of a sort about the dark days of their life, the lonely moments, the hunger and thirst, with no one to turn to or lean on. Yet, these stories are not just told to anyone, but at the right place and time. On this show, The Untold, we will be unveiling some of these stories of very well celebrated and upcoming individuals and businesses with emphasis on entrepreneurship. Join me this and every Saturday on Ashaiman TV as I bring you The Untold. My name is Nathaniel Oulaku. Viewers, you're welcome back from that quick commercial break. So, Mr. Pierre, can we continue from where we left off? The programs that we run at Trinity.
Yeah, we have 6 major professional courses and then 3 vocational courses. We are doing cosmetology. Okay. Now the aspect of it up to the advanced level.
Please, let's have the images roll.
And then we have cake decoration.
Okay.
And then we are doing graphics, designing, and the choral designing, photography, etc. These are the 3 major vocational programs at the moment. And then we have logistics with materials management. We have some banking and finance, business management. We have the HR. So those are the professional courses that we also do.
Right. So please, okay. So these are some of. Please keep them on. Keep them on. So these are some of the courses. These are flyers of some of the courses that are run at Trinity Professional College, and admission is in progress, right? So can you fill us in on the admissions? Please keep the images.
We are doing admission on all the courses.
Okay.
The campus is ready for all that.
Okay.
And, so we have the level 3 to 5 at the vocational level, and then the level 4 through 6 at the professional level. So we are admitting students for all the levels.
Okay.
There are some that might start at the level 3 certificate, others may do level 4, others may do level 6 directly.
Okay.
It depends on the entry qualification.
Okay.
And then we're also looking at mature students above 25 years who might not have formal education, but they are matured. They can do something on the vocational area.
Okay.
So basically, we are doing admission from now to April ending, where we are trusting God that this COVID-19 would have been under full control. Then lecture might start in the first week of May. Yeah, so we are looking at the situation about